against Hartenstein. Good defense. 4 on the shot clock. Mobley, the runner, puts it up and in. Evan Mobley. Garland pulls back. 7 on the 24. Garland the drive. It's up. It's good. Timeout OKC. It's a 7-point lead.
If anyone out there is wondering whether OKC versus the Cavs last night was worth the hype, get on League Pass if you haven't and go watch the game. You won't be disappointed. Let's talk about it. This game was just, it had all the intensity of a playoff game. It had the intensity of a finals game. The crowd was into it. Cleveland has a great home court, just incredibly loud, awesome energy from a fan base, starving for a team that can actually contend for a title. And they come out a little bit flat in the first quarter. OKC throws that first punch, a big struggle from Donovan Mitchell, and I'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to get into some game clips later on in this pod, but in the first quarter, OKC really in control, kind of not having a wonderful start to the game, but Cavs get 8 points in the paint in that first quarter, and you can tell that Kenny Atkinson, coming into that second quarter, definitely had something to say about the team not attacking the paint, because they went from 8 points in the paint in the first quarter to 22 points in the paint in the second quarter, getting to the free throw line, going 9 for 11 at that free throw line. And in a game that had 30 lead changes, it really did go down to the wire, and you got a damn near perfect game from the supporting cast of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And just like I mentioned in that pregame pod, this was definitely a game where OKC missed Chet Holmgren. No doubt about it. This is a team that obviously runs double bigs and also sustained a really bad game from Donovan Mitchell. So if you're a Cavs fan, that's also in your back pocket as an argument. Hey, you know, Donovan Mitchell didn't have it last night, right? Awful game. That was a stinker. Now, you could chalk it up to him having a bad game, or you can keep it 100 and just say that Lou Dort and Cason Wallace, who had the majority of the matchup time against Donovan Mitchell, and they did a really good job against him. They really made it tough for him to get into his game, get comfortable. He was really forcing the issue early. Just some shots that he takes, they didn't look too good. Some of the ones that he normally makes didn't go in either. So it was a combination of OKC just doing an awesome job of staying attached to him in pick and rolls, just kind of continuing to have a guy just stay physical with him, stay in his airspace, and just make things really hard. This was really a credit to the guys around Donovan Mitchell being able to get things done, because you have a huge game from Jarrett Allen, you have an awesome game from Evan Mobley, you get a damn near perfect performance from 3 key role players on the Cavs. I'm talking about Ty Jerome, Dean Wade, and Max Strus, combined for 16 of 19 from the field. These dudes were all in on this game, and they needed every bit of that to get away from OKC in this win. Now, OKC gets some awesome production from their guys. They get 25 and 9 from J-Dub with 3 steals and a block to go with it. They get 31 points from Shea, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Hartenstein almost gets a triple-double, 18, 11, and 8. You got Cason Wallace, who plays a damn near perfect game, 15 points, 6 of 8 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3. You get Aaron Wiggins, another really good game from him, 5 of 7 from the field. He splits his threes. You get a rough offensive game from Lou Dort, but he did his job on Donovan Mitchell on the defensive end. He definitely made things really hard for Donovan Mitchell. But like I said earlier on that pregame pod, this was definitely a game where Alex Caruso, another point of attack defender, another guy that can stay attached and make things difficult for opposing guards and even wings, he was needed in this game, and so was Chet. You know, you're facing a front court of Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley just crushing you on the boards, crushing you in the paint, just doing everything to make things just so difficult for OKC to deal with. Like, you get this high pick and roll between a guard and Jared Allen, for example. And Jared Allen slips. He's an easy target to find, right? You make that pass, it's very easy. You just throw it up in the air, and he's going to catch it near that free throw line. And at that short roll, you're at the mercy of, if you cheat over to kind of help on his roll, you're leaving a shooter open, or potentially leaving Evan Mobley open, who's also coming over from a corner, or maybe he's like in the dunker spot, and it's just free 2 points that you're allowing. If you choose to cheat away from a shooter, they made OKC pay with threes. If you choose to stay home on the shooting and not help each other in the paint, you see those easy twos and rebounds, putbacks from either Evan Mobley or Jared Allen. It was kind of like a pick your poison. Everyone is just on fire in this game for Cleveland. So really tough, but a big moment in this game was Ty Jerome in the fourth quarter. He scored 8 of some of the biggest points in that fourth quarter that kind of initiated that comfort zone for the Cavs. He scores 3 straight times coming out of pick and rolls and just knocking down some tough floaters. And he gets fouled on the last one, and then he makes both free throws. He then has a crazy turnover, kind of running into traffic where he gets a little crazy. Kenny Atkinson's like, all right, you've done enough for us. It's been a good fourth quarter for you. Time for us to now dial it back from, Ty Jerome. They bench him for the rest of that game, and they basically go with their main dudes. And even though it was really close, even down to the wire, like down to the end of the game, it was the Cavs in control with those offensive rebounds. And I'm showing them now on the screen, and you just see, even from that last offensive rebound where, Evan Mobley's running out of time, and he just kind of throws it up to beat the shot clock. And Jared Allen gets a hand on that rebound. I think he gets a hand on it. He tips it towards Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell secures it, but they call a foul. Kenny Atkinson calls a timeout so they can challenge it. Cavs get the ball back, and then Evan Mobley has that game-sealing kind of floater over Hartenstein that was just big time. And it was just a soul-snatching offensive rebound, a soul-snatching challenge call, and a soul-snatching floater from Evan Mobley to kind of put the game away. And at that point, it was ball game, and the Cavs walk away with an awesome team effort against OKC, who, like I said, in a game where you're facing 2 bigs that can just kind of throw a lob to each other almost at will, and there's kind of nothing OKC can do about it unless they want to help away from shooters, which also made them pay last night. Really not a lot that they can do about that. Now, the question I have, if I'm looking at things from OKC's perspective, is if Alex Caruso is available in this game, I don't know that Darius Garland goes off. I mean, he didn't have an awesome game. Darius Garland was good. He was really good in this game, but he wasn't great in this game, right? Like, he made crucial buckets down the stretch. He also had good moments playmaking, right? Finding the rollers. But I don't know how easy of a time he has kind of bailing out Mitchell if he's got another point of attack elite defender on him. Also, I don't know that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen simultaneously dominate OKC if Hartenstein's just got another guy in Chet Holmgren alleviating some of that pressure, because Hartenstein's got to be careful, right? Like, he gets into early foul trouble, right? I think he's got like 4 fouls by the third quarter, by the end of the third quarter. I'm not sure at what point, because I'm not remembering at this moment, but he's got to be really careful when he's playing against both of those bigs. And, you get Jalen Williams, the center, who is kind of that emergency backup big that they also have. And he makes like the occasional 3. He's actually been really good. He's like, in the small time that he gets, he gives you everything he can. But clearly, if Chet Holmgren's in this game and Alex Caruso's in this game as well, I think this is a different result. And I don't know that Cleveland walks away with this. I mean, they literally got insane shooting performances. I didn't even talk about Dean Wade. And obviously the Cavs are a team that they've been the best 3-point shooting team all year long. So you can just sit there and say, well, they did what they normally do, and that's fine, right? I just don't know that their twin towers, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, go off simultaneously in this game if Chet's also out there to help Hartenstein. I also don't know that Darius Garland or even Ty Jerome do what they do if they've got another point of attack defender in Alex Caruso. They're going to have a rematch next week. That's going to be a really interesting game to watch. And I can't wait to see the adjustments or, a bounce back game from Donovan Mitchell, because he looked like he wanted no part in that game. I mean, he tried so many things, tried getting to the rim. He drew collapses and he made some good passes, but definitely struggled in that game. He had like 11 points. He was like 3 for 16 from the field. I'm not even looking at his numbers right now, but definitely a forgettable game for Donovan Mitchell. And the Cavs, to their credit, their ability to sustain a pretty good game from Darius Garland and a really bad Donovan Mitchell game where he gets locked up, that is a testament to what this team's been able to do all season and why they've been so dominant. They just have really good depth. They have great coaching and a lot of skill in that front court as well. So this is a team that has the answers to pretty much every question. The only question on the Cavs is, will they do it in the playoffs? And that's the same question people have about OKC. These two teams have separated themselves from the rest of the teams in their conferences. So interesting stuff. This was a great game, and I can't wait to watch them play each other again next week.